From athletes and musicians to actors and socialites, celebrity usually coincides with massive wealth. However, there is no shortage of stars who find a way to squander even the most impressive fortunes. From lavish lifestyles to bad investments, these superstars found a way to lose it all, mostly on bigger purchases than more common wastes of money. From having lavish lifestyles to making bad investments, these 15 famous celebrities lost it all. Number 15. Nicolas Cage. This list would never be complete without our favorite superhero, Nicolas Cage. Cage is still one of Hollywood's biggest stars, as well as one of Hollywood's biggest spenders. Cage is known to buy many homes, cars, and rare artifacts. He once bought a dinosaur skull for $276,000. After outbidding Leonardo DiCaprio for it. God knows what he wanted to do with it. The same skull was stolen and had to be returned to the Mongolian government. Cage found himself in trouble with the IRS when he had to pay $6 million for failing to pay his taxes one year. He's always getting robbed, as his $2.1 million comics were stolen too. He had to ultimately sell many of his belongings and take multiple film roles to bring himself out of debt. Cage lays the blame on his money manager. Before moving to the next number, we just want small favor from you. Like and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get 1 week good luck for you. Try this, it really worked. Number 14. Stephen Baldwin. In 2009, the youngest of the 4 Baldwin brothers filed for bankruptcy, and the craziest part was no one saw it coming. Except maybe his accountant. He owed about $1.2 million on his mortgage in New York City, and more than $1 million in taxes at the time. His credit card debt was also through the roof. The actor had mild success as an actor over the years, from his appearance in The Usual Suspects to various appearances on reality TV shows. But his paychecks were irregular and couldn't cover his lavish celebrity lifestyle. On the other hand, his brother Alec Baldwin was highly successful. We can imagine what it would be like to sit around the Baldwin family dinner table. Number 13. 50 Cent. Our dear rapper, 50 Cent, had his fair share of money problems when he was forced to file for bankruptcy in 2015. At the time, he had about $20 million in assets, but he was also an absurd amount of debt, owing about $36 million. Everything started to go downhill for the rapper when he got into some legal trouble and owed $7 million in a settlement against him. After filing for bankruptcy, a judge came up with a 5-year plan to pay back the debts. He also received $13.65 million in a settlement in a malpractice lawsuit, which also went to pay back his debts. Number 12. Johnny Depp. Actor, producer, and musician Johnny Depp are some of the most versatile actors we know. But one thing he didn't learn was how to do his finances. According to his agent, Depp earned around $650 million over the course of his life, most of which he's already spent. His wild spending included $30,000 a month on wine alone. The actor's newfound poverty has caused him to sue his agents for mismanagement of his finances. That sounds like a great Hollywood blockbuster. You should definitely star in it. Number 11. Aaron Carter. The kid brother of a Backstreet Boy, Aaron Carter was a pop star by the time he was 7 years old. When he grew up, however, he made a whole bunch of money mistakes and blew his fortune. The child pop star hasn't seen the limelight in quite a few years despite his best. Meaning that the massive $100 million fortune he accumulated as a child is long gone. This not-so-humble fortune was earned by Carter by the age of 10 and quickly dissolved by the mishandling of his parents. By 18, Carter had no money and owed $4 million in back taxes. Do you know anyone who made $100 million at the age of 10? Maybe he was special. Number 10. Toni Braxton. One of the best-selling recording artists of the 90s, Toni Braxton rose to superstardom with hits like Unbreak My Heart, 6 Grammys wins, and a loyal fan base. But she, too, had to file for bankruptcy in 1998. The singer blamed her debt of $5 million on bad business contracts and extravagant tour costs. But other expenses, such as Gucci handbags, grand pianos, and $1,000 gowns, were also to blame. In 2010, Braxton filed for a second bankruptcy, this time citing over $15 million in debt with less than $10 million in assets. Nowadays, she's trying to revive her career. Number 9. Tony Stark. Most widely known for portraying Tony Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, our favorite Iron Man has not always been the law-abiding and a socially respectable man he is today. In 1996, police found heroin, cocaine, and a pistol in the actor's car when he was pulled over for speeding. He made repeated trips to drug rehab in the late 90s and was even sent to prison in 1999, when he made 8 cents an hour. And now his net worth is more than $300 million. So in Robert's case, he had nothing and then conquered the hearts of millions. Number 8. Michael Jackson. When this famous pop singer comes to mind, bankruptcy is the last thing that you'd think of. But it was found that the king of pop was about $400 million in debt at the time of his death in 2009. According to his closest friends and family, pop legend Michael Jackson was a millionaire who spent like a billionaire. He took out several loans to facilitate all his spending and never paid it back, and his financial problems got even worse when he was involved in several lawsuits. All those debts were transferred to his family after his death. Number 7. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson earned a reported $400 million over his career, but he was knocked down with a $23 million debt in 2003. By that time he owed money to the IRS, British tax authorities, lawyers, a personal trainer, a financial manager, and a music producer, among others. Tyson had to pay $9 million in a divorce settlement and was also behind on child support. The heavyweight champion declared bankruptcy, returned to jail, and went through rehab before he again reached financial stability. Today, Tyson has retired from fighting and appears to be solvent again. In 2018, Tyson started a marijuana company in California called the Ranch Companies. We hope he plans on keeping his money this time around. Number 6. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye had an extremely successful career over the years, and it brought him hefty millions of dollars. Unfortunately, the singer had an untimely death when his father fatally shot him. At the time of his death, he was in $9.2 million in debt. About half of that was owed to the IRS and back taxes. Thankfully, after he passed away, his estate was able to use his music rights to pay off the debt that he owed back. Not only was the estate able to make enough money to pay back his debts, but also have money to inherit themselves. Number 5. Lindsay Lohan. A lot of partying, a lot of addiction, and a lack of common sense led Lohan to plummet from what was supposed to be a promising career into a dry spell that lasted many years. After Mean Girls, she virtually disappeared, except in the tabloids. Even there, most of the stories were about her wrongdoings. Eventually, her partying lifestyle caught up to her when she had to file for bankruptcy in 2012. She owed far less than a lot of others on this list, but that's more likely due to the fact that she was worth a great deal less. Too much time without a steady paycheck does make your net worth go way down. Number 4. TPain. This famous artist went from having $40 million to having to borrow money to get his kids Burger King. In an interview with the radio show The Breakfast Club, the rapper opened up about his finances. He said he once went from being worth $40 million to have to borrow money from his friends just to put food on the table. He said it was a series of bad investments that caused him to go bankrupt, so he eventually had to rethink the way he spent his money. Now I know what the high end is and what the low end is, he said. Not a bad conclusion after losing $40 million, is it? Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal: you just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 15 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works. Number 3. Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser used to be a household name and now nearly penniless and attempting to jumpstart his career. He seems more like the rest of us. When Fraser first divorced his ex-wife Afton Smith in February of 2009, he was making millions at the box office. So how did he lose all of his money? Brendan Fraser injured his back while attempting to clear debris during cleanup after Hurricane Sandy. Eventually, he was forced to admit that he could no longer do his own stunt work, which was a huge part of his appeal. Bottom line, he claimed that his medical concerns severely impacted his earning potential. His legion of fans has gone so far as to sign a petition to get him back in the game, because we all know Hollywood loves a good comeback story. But so far, the studios won't bite. Number 2. Fantasia Barrino. Former American Idol winner Fantasia Barrino lost her North Carolina home in 2009 after the singer failed to make payments toward the $1.1 million loan. Barrino went from Grammy-nominated artist to homeless in just a matter of years after her success. Do you see how debt can eat you alive? Better watch and learn, kids, and with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Number 1. Pamela Anderson. Arguably the most famous Playboy model of all time and a celebrity icon in her own right. Pamela Anderson has been in significant trouble with the IRS for tax evasion. She owed up to $1 million in unpaid taxes, causing her to go into debt and file for bankruptcy. That, and she had 2 messy divorces that cost a lot in legal fees. She has been in disputes with multiple contractors who built her home in California. But she claims the disputes did not put her in debt and that she is within her legal rights to take them to court. Anderson hasn't been in the spotlight for her career as an actor for many years, but she continues to get paid to make appearances at events and parties. Maybe that'll be enough to repay the $1 million debt she owes. Which of these celebrities do you think had it worst? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.